looking into your heart like that. Ooh, when I look in the mirror, I'm not too hard to do. I got the superstar glow, so ooh, to the booty. A side step right left to my beat. I like the more rock with me, baby. Know that I got the heat. Let me show you this cocky shit. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll.
A brisk and chilly night in Calgary, but nothing can cool down the Flames right now. Red hot. They've won 4 in a row in dominating fashion. Just 4 goals allowed in those games. The Jets, different story for them. 5 straight losses. Can they turn that around tonight at the Scotiabank Saddledome? Welcome back into our Sportsnet NHL studios. Elliot, Kevin, Kelly, and great to have you along, guys. And we're probably, someone's going to bite anyone on set here. Let's hope. Kevin, I'm not sure.
I'm too far away. If I was closer, I don't know.
We're going to get you out there. Rick Ball, Cassie Campbell-Pascal will have the call, but we're going to get you right out to our man Scott Oake to set the scene, what should be a good one, an all-Canadian nightcap here on Hockey Night. Scotty.
Okay, David, first of all, I have no plans to bite anyone tonight, but the odds are stacked in favor of the Calgary Flames here tonight. They're playing on 3 days rest. They've been waiting for the Jets, who were run out of the building in Minnesota yesterday. Connor, Scheifele, Ehlers, in fact, all of the Jets gunners have gone cold during this 5-game skid, and Paul Maurice says the way out of it is defense. His post-game comment yesterday addressed what's known as cheating. Sacrifice your defensive responsibilities while trying to score goals, and the other team scores 7 on you. No such problems for Daryl Sutter. His Flames, led by Johnny Gaudreau's 23 points and Andrew Mangiapane's 15 goals, are scoring, and they're also the toughest team in the NHL to score on, thanks in large part to Jacob Markstrom's brilliant goaltending. Flames have given up only 38 goals in 20 games, so the Flames don't give up much. The Jets can't score, so it's a mighty challenge Winnipeg faces in Calgary tonight. David.
All right, great stuff there from Scott, and we'll get to the Jets story in just a matter of moments, as they have had a big struggle of late. As Scott mentioned, first in save percentage for the Jets, and first in goal differential, first in goals allowed, and you love the way they're starting as well.
The one thing about the Flames, in comparison to last year, if you're a Flames fan and you watch them, you knew that they always had a poor start. They're sort of ease into the game, and no question they give up the early goals. Take a look at scoring first this season. In the 20 games, 16 times. That is phenomenal. That is hard to do. Washington and Anaheim also off to great starts. But the one thing about the Calgary Flames, you know, with Daryl Sutter as coach, he's going to have them prepared right from the get-go, and they are really hard to play against when they get that lead, because as David, as you mentioned, they're great at protecting the lead.
And here's worth noting, by the way, when the other team scores first, they haven't won a single game this year in those 4 games, so they've got to score first to have that momentum. And you love what they're doing, even strength as well.
Well, first of all, some stats here. Scott had some stats. They were okay. Kelly had some stats. They were all right. Dave has stats. It was terrible. Here's the stat that really
Kevin,
matters.
nothing?
No, he hasn't even spoken yet, so the show's excellent. Here's the stat that really stands out to me about the Calgary Flames. This was Reese Johnson's first NHL goal the other night. The 2-2 goals, Chicago, Calgary, and Gaudreau and Tkachuk are on the ice for this one. And they've played 200 minutes this year at 5-on-5. That was the first goal this year that anyone has scored against Calgary, with Gaudreau and Tkachuk on the ice, and Lindholm, it's 2. When your best offensive players are also that good defensively or that successful defensively, you're going to be good.
That was a cheesy one to give.
That goal wasn't even their fault. I know. I'm just saying. But you know what? I didn't want to rip Markstrom because he's been so good. He's probably bailed them out 1,000 times. He's entitled to give up a weird one.
But make a better play.
Meanwhile, on the Jets side of the
That was
equation,
your best? You just started?
Here's a stat.
I'm easing into it too, like the Flames last year, Kel.
The Jets lost 7-1 last night to Minnesota. They didn't do much on the ice, but post-game, this is what Connor Hellebuck had to say.
Add a little more importance to tomorrow night than.
Oh, tomorrow's on. Tomorrow, it's on. There's no more of this. We're gonna give it tomorrow.
Hellebuck's been watching Sportsnet promos.
Yeah, I was about to say, stealing our information. What do you make of that? The goalie speaking like that?
I like that. It's a firm stance that we're struggling. I'm our best player. Like, he's probably not saying that, but he's thinking it. I'm their best player. I have to be the one that rights the ship. And probably one of the more vocal goaltenders in the league. And he has a lot of leadership characteristics, and I love that statement by him. We'll see now if he can back it up.
Cal?
I love it, and that's the thing about his growth. I noticed when he first came in the league, I thought he was kind of shy, kind of like you, Kevin. Yeah. But now he's a real leader.
I missed the shy Kevin, by the way. We'll see you after 20 minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Scotiabank Saddledome, Calgary and Winnipeg, as Connor Hellebuck said. It's on, and it's on Sportsnet next.
Welcome back to Calgary. The Flames and the Jets, first of 3 meetings this season. Calgary on a 4-game win streak, 7-game point streak. Jets have dropped 5 straight, looked to shake off a 7-1 defeat in Mini yesterday, but Winnipeg is 8-2-1. Last 11 games against the Flames, and they will go right back to Connor Hellebuyck to start this one. Back-to-back starts for him. 9th start the last 10. He got pulled after 4 on 14 shots in St. Paul yesterday. But he's 10-3-1 with a couple of shutouts in his career against Calgary. Jacob Markstrom at the other end, speaking of shutouts, leads the league with 5 this season. 5th best save percentage, 6th best goals against. Has given up 2 or fewer in 6 of his last 7 starts. As we get set to go on Hockey Night in Canada, Rick Ball, Cassie Campbell, Pascal in the broadcast booth tonight.
And Paul Maurice has had his top 6 forwards in a blender the last 4 or 5 games. He's going to start with Scheifele, Wheeler, and Connor tonight. Dubois is going to play with Svechnikov and Kopp. The third line looks a little bit different too. Stastny, Lowry is going to be at center with Ehlers, and then Tony Nato, Vesalainen, and Harkins, that 4th unit. And he's just looking for a spark and literally changed all 4 lines to start this evening.
Jets just 5 goals during this 5-game win streak scored. They're trying to get the offense rolling, and we'll start with the Scheifele line up against the back of the line. He's between Coleman and Mangiapane, Anderson and Hanifin on the back end for Calgary. It's Nate Schmidt and Josh Morrissey to start for the Winnipeg Jets. And Johnny Gaudreau, well, Scott talked about it off the top. Cassie has been rolling for Calgary and comes into the game tonight as the 8th highest scoring player in the league.
Yeah, 2 game-winning goals on their recent road trip, and just playing with a lot of confidence. And you know, playing the right way, and you hear people say that, what is the right way? Well, no turnovers at the blue lines, getting the pucks in deep when he has the opportunity. And I think not necessarily a big surprise, but the way he's back-checking in his defensive game, it's just been as good as his offensive game this year. And there you see what he's done the last 5 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, 2 game-winning goals, as I mentioned, in the 28 shots. In a 4-game goal-scoring streak. He's been on fire for Calgary right from the get-go.
Yep, and he's a +15 player as centered. Elijah Luna was +19. That's the best in the National Hockey League. We are set to go here in Calgary as the puck is dropped. This one is underway. Nate Schmidt back to it. Fires a pass out, tipped in, and that'll be an early icing call just seconds into the first period. We'll get a face-off back in the Winnipeg zone.
Daryl Sutter is speaking highly of his 4th line this week, especially after that win on Tuesday against Chicago, a game that easily the Flames could have come home after that 7-game road trip and laid a bit of an egg. Instead, his 4th line led the way, and he talked a lot about them in the press this week.
And a much-needed 3-day break between games for Calgary, first one they've had this year. There's a chance, a shot stopped by Hellebuyck. Nice save early on a good look for Coleman. Loose puck, they jam away. Hellebuyck trying to cover up, finally able to scoop up the puck and hang on for a whistle after a couple of chances for the Flames.
And Blake Coleman in on the forecheck along with Andrew Mangiapane as his back line is out with his offensive zone face-off. And there you can see just a little bank pass by Mangiapane off the net, right back to Coleman. But look how many chances the Flames get. Winnipeg Jets, they need to do a better job of their net front presence. Paul Maurice talked about that in the offensive side of things and also in the defensive side of things.
Lindholm waves. Tkachuk steps in to face off against Lowry, who pulls the puck to the corner. Dillon puts it around, but it's picked off, played in front. They score! Chipped in by Tkachuk, and it's 1-0 Calgary.
You know, you go back a couple of shifts, the Nate Schmidt icing off his first shift has led to this offensive zone time for the Calgary Flames, but look how quick Johnny Gaudreau jumps in off the faceoff. He reads this poor pass that was given to Pionk, and he knows that he's going to have Lindholm or Tkachuk just driving the net. In this case, it's Tkachuk. He just deflects it right over the shoulder of Connor Hellebuyck.
Jets gave up a goal 52 seconds into the game in Minnesota yesterday. This one comes 26 seconds in. And for the 17th time in 21 games, the Flames scored the first goal this season. That has been a remarkable run. And no team has played with the lead more than Calgary has this year. Half of the time they played, they've been in front.
Scored by number 19,
So the Jets look to answer back. The pass by Kopp deflects towards the line, but Lucic there to tip it out. Dubois bumps it across. Dillon feeds it ahead, and it's flipped into the zone by Svechnikov. Here's Tanev, pressured by Pierre-Luc Dubois, trying to force a turnover. Svechnikov comes in to help. And they jam away down low in the Calgary zone, tipped in behind. Shillington racing over to it. Feeds it ahead to Lucic. He bumps it back, and Brad Richardson carries out. Down the wing, he'll play the puck in behind. Hellebuyck comes out to play it. Trying to put it back towards the corner, but it's on the other side now. Back to the line. Big Zadorov with a shot. Hellebuyck save, rebound, stop that too. Nice stop on the second chance by Richardson. Here's Zadorov, feeds it over. One-timer by Tkachuk. That's off a foot, and the puck winds up going out of play.
Logan Stanley helping his goaltender out, just clearing away that rebound, which is something they weren't able to do on the first Calgary Flames goal. And here's the chance by Richardson, the fourth line out there for the Flames. And you can see the rebound sitting there as Connor Hellebuyck loses it.
Gaudreau with the assist on the goal by Tkachuk. Tkachuk's 10th of the season. Here's Scheifele on the attack now as he works the puck over the line. Turns and plays it across. Morrissey stumbles. Flames able to clear. It's fed out by Hanifin, but Wheeler's back to it first in his own zone. He'll retreat. Take a look. Bank it ahead. Scheifele takes the pass. Backhanded out. Broken up by Lindholm, but he's pressured by Connor. Elias Lindholm to Gaudreau. Plays it back. Passed ahead by Hanifin. It's off the stick of Connor into the zone. Hellebuyck out to play. Gives the puck to Pionk. He goes up the middle. Almost stolen, but it's tipped across, and Scheifele able to reset and play it back to his defenseman Pionk, and then head off on a change as Pionk takes his time in behind his own net. Shots already 6-0 Calgary. Long bank pass for Kopp off the mark, and that'll go for an icing call on Winnipeg.
You know, you go back to that Minnesota game and the early goal against, there was a few bounces. It bounced off about 5 people before it got behind Connor Hellebuyck. This one just missed assignments off the face-off. You're just not ready to start this hockey game, which sometimes can happen early in a back-to-back situation that the Jets are in. But I like the way that they've responded here early. I know they don't have a shot on net yet, Rick, but they calmed the play down. They're getting a couple of breakouts here. And a much better response than that Minnesota game where they allowed 152 seconds in.
Zadorov ball with the puck. Here's a chance. Markstrom makes a save off Kopp, who had a good look on the backhand. After a giveaway by Zadorov, and Markstrom's first save is a pretty good one as he's able to hang on.
Yeah, nice play at the blue line by the Winnipeg Jets, making sure that puck gets deep. There's no turnover. That just goes right to net. You've got Svechnikov going there. As you can see, it bounces off Zadorov. He's unable to control it. And good speed there by Kopp.
Dubois facing off against Backlund. It's a stalemate. Backlund forces the puck to the boards. Dubois leans on him but falls, and now a battle ensues. Tanev puts it behind the net. Shillington there, goes up the middle and finds Backlund. He'll bring it out. Mangiapane, who takes the pass. Back to Backlund. Couldn't settle that one down. Now gets a chance. Throws it in front. Steered away. Mangiapane plays it back to Shillington. He shoots, and that's blocked by Stanley, who goes down. And that one hurt as Stanley blocked that shot by Shillington. And he gets up in some discomfort and makes his way back to the bench.
Well, he gets turned around, and his back ends up facing the shooter. You're going to see him just come down in front. He goes down to block the shot, and no question, that hits him right in the back. There's no padding there in the back of the shoulder pads. And now a second look, maybe even the elbow. You can see right between the shoulder pad and the elbow as he gets his back face the shooter and just trying to sacrifice his body.
And he went right to the Winnipeg room. Jets stretched 7 defensemen yesterday, but not tonight, so we're down to 5 right now. As Hellebuyck chips the puck away. Pionk steps into Backlund. Puts the puck to the near side. Dillon racing over to it. He'll feed it up the boards. Ehlers tips it past Shillington and out. Lowry trying to get there. Working hard on Coleman. Lowry plays it around. Stastny, second game back off that foot injury. Checked by Tanev. Ehlers hassling Tanev. Stastny stays in the battle. Ehlers gets it loose. Puck comes near side. Shillington there. He'll try and feed it back around behind the net. Second chance. Gets it to Tanev. Lowry bumps him, but he makes a play to Backlund. And Backlund Backlund's pass blocked. Now a second opportunity finds Mangiapane. Here's Coleman trying to get through. Good position there by Dillon to deny that opportunity. Played in front. Mangiapane stopped by Hellebuck, and the loose puck is scooped up. And Lowry will bring the puck out as Mangiapane found himself all alone for a moment in front. Long dump in on goal. Markstrom turns that away. Noah Hanifin to Lucic. Checked at center, but able to work it forward. Now it's brought in by Richardson offside at the Winnipeg blue line.
Neil Pionk, he was late in his shift, and he just loses his check here in front, and Andrew Mangiapane, you can see the Flames get it down low. But he's looking to the corner, doesn't recognize that his check, Mangiapane's in behind him. He sneaks in with perfect timing, and Connor Hellebuck comes up with a huge save and gets some help there from Adam Lowry to clear the rebound.
15 goals on the year for Mangiapane, second best in the league. 14 of those on the road. Now, they haven't played at home a lot, Cassie, but that stat is remarkable. And he almost had his 16th there.
Yeah, 4 two-goal games as well. He's been on fire. There's no question about that. His shooting percentage well above his average at 30+%.
Dylan DeMello going back to the puck. Slow it down in behind his own net. And make a pass. And there's feed up the near side. Good to see Stanley back on the ice. So he shook off that shot block a couple of shifts ago. Puck battle deep in the Calgary zone as we approach the 5-minute mark in the opening period. Harkins in the corner. Zadorov takes control. He'll skate it out from behind his own net. Make a play to Lucic. Through center. Fed across. Broken up by Harkins. Drops it back and heads off on a change. And the Calgary native, Josh Morrissey, waits in behind his own net. Sets up the breakout. Skates it forward and fires a pass to center. Schmidt put it over. Wheeler gone to the middle. Puck goes in deep. Here's Tkachuk. Goal scorer in this game behind the net to Hanifin over to Rasmus Anderson. And now Gaudreau with a pass to Tkachuk. Slowly through the neutral zone. Soft dump in. Scheifele back on it. Banks it out. Cut off. Gaudreau has to wait. Tkachuk's caught deep in the zone. Flames have to regroup back inside their own blue line. Gaudreau at center, taking it passing, whipping the puck around the board, slowed down by Hellebuck. Tkachuk on it. Back to the other side for Gaudreau, intercepted by Kopp, and he'll skate the puck to the line and work it out. Andrew Kopp puts it on the wing. Svechnikov in with a pass to Scheifele. Hopped off the stick. Pionk follows up. Put it in deep. Loose puck comes free far side, and Pitlick there for the Flames. Passing the feet of Dubé. Turned over. Kopp back on the attack. Let's slow it down just inside the line. Puts the puck to goal. It's off the stick of Tanev, and it goes high over top of the crossbar. Tanev back on the puck with a play to the line. Tipped up, played back in by Pionk. Jets are changing, and it's settled down by Shillington. Plays it out. Pitlick with a dump in. Dubé on the forecheck. DeMello back. Dubé bumps in. DeMello popped it up. Played in front by Pitlick. Broken up by Hellebuck, who calmly sweeps it aside. And it's DeMello on the puck, able to clear as he's hit hard by Pitlick in front of the Winnipeg bench. Sean Monahan, meantime, with the dump in. That's off the stick of Stastny, and the puck goes out of play with 13:22 to go. First period, Matthew Tkachuk gets his 10th of the season in the first minute of this one. The Flames lead 1-0 on Hockey Night in Canada. Skip the dishes, order all your game time favorites now. The Jets are obviously hungry to score. They've been lauded for their depth, but it means little when their shooters have gone as ice cold as they have during this 5-game losing streak. 186 shots in 5 games coming into this one. Only 5 goals. This morning, Paul Maurice acknowledged the challenges team faces tonight, and it's been a large one with the Jets being outshot 8-2, and the Flames had the first 6 shots of the game. Rick? And the first goal, thank you, Scott. Flames dump the puck in. Schmidt on it, pressured by Coleman. Lowry there, stolen back by Backlund. Coleman flips it around for Gudbranson. Try to play it to the net, picked off by Morrissey. He goes off the glass, not out. Gudbranson kept it in. And plays the puck to the corner. Nate Schmidt back on it for the Jets with a pass to the far side. And now it's fed out to Ehlers, who wheels down the wing. Slows it down, lost it for a second, got it back, makes a play to Stastny, put it in front, and that's blocked by Coleman. The pass ricochets around, Flames clear the zone. Backlund dodges a hit as Ehlers falls. They both get spilled. Ehlers back up in time to take the pass. Here he comes into the zone. Pulls to the boards, turning with a play in front. Here's Dubois with a shot, and that goes wide. Markstrom may have gotten a piece of it. The puck winds up going out of play.
And think Ehlers just lost his footing in the neutral zone there, Rick, but it ended up being a good thing because he was in a position to take this pass and get in on the offense. You can see him just to the left of your screen, but he gets right back up and helps to create this Dubois chance. Fumbles it a little bit, remains calm. You can see Stastny fighting in front, and this was an excellent chance by Dubois. He just missed his far side. I thought Markstrom maybe got a piece of it, but you look at that there, he just missed it.
Tanev on the puck. Shillington pressure, takes a hard hit in the corner, drilled into the boards by Svechnikov, and Shillington slow to get up. Svechnikov's going to the box, and the Flames react on that hit as Shillington is back on his feet.
And Svechnikov just trying to make something happen. He gets in on the forecheck. You can see Shillington, just as the puck comes to him, he turns to protect it. And Svechnikov, that's when he was making the hit. No question about the penalty. Just half a second late on reading that play. Svechnikov is as he tries to get in on the forecheck, and the Flames are going to go on the power play.
Didn't have a power play in their win over Chicago a few nights ago. They send their top unit out. Power play sits 7th in the league. The Jets penalty kill under 68% of the year, 30th. They got to get better on the PK. Flames trying to take advantage. He gets a chance. Early score! Lindholm on the rebound, and it's 2-0 Calgary.
Puck movement right off the draw. Sean Monahan wins it. Kachuk back to Anderson, over across to the other side, and right into that bumper position. Sean Monahan who wins the draw. He ends up getting this pass here from Gaudreau, and Hellebuyck unable to control the rebound. But look how much room Lindholm has, Monahan has in front, and that's something Paul Maurice wants a better job by the Winnipeg Jets as their net front presence, and Svechnikov, as you can imagine, not so happy about it in the box.
Didn't take long for that power play to produce, and the Flames have a 2-0 lead as we approach the 8-minute mark in the first. So the Jets with some work to do here in this one as Calgary has gotten off to another great start in this game. That has been a staple of their game this season. And Winnipeg looks to answer as Connor carries through center. Here's Wheeler with a pass across for the one-timer, and that's stopped by Markstrom as Scheifele let it go. Flames on the puck. Anderson leads the rush. He'll gain center at the end of a shift and play it in deep. As Bianco's back to him. Here's Wheeler taking a pass and flipping it out. Knocked down by Harkins at the line. Chipped back out. Brought back in by Tony Nato. Not deep. Knocked off his stick. Stanley fires up. Follows up and fires it in. The Flames get control as the Jets have to tag up. Tanev with a pass out to Lewis. Played last year for the Jets, able to dump it in for Calgary. Hellebuyck will leave that for DeMello. Dodged a hit from Lucic and got the puck around. Good play there by Lewis as he throws a hit on Vesalainen, and shot goes wide. Stanley gets the puck in the corner. Plays it back to DeMello. Feeds it ahead. And Christian Vesalainen carries up, banks the puck into the Calgary zone. Shillington takes a tumble. Puck sits free. Back to the line. DeMello fed it over. Stanley moved over, and the puck winds up bouncing out. Dumped back in, and now both teams start to change.
You just go back to that power play goal. It's so tough for the penalty killers to stop a play like that where it's basically one-touch passes over the ice, but you have to protect the middle of the ice.
Shovel the puck in. Good ransom back. Lowry on him, but he feeds it around. Ehlers lets it come back to Schmidt. Takes a look. Walks to the middle of the shot, and he whistles it wide. Puck goes off the back of the net. Stastny tried to find Ehlers. That pass denied. Dubé gets control, and 3 Flames break out. Monahan leads the way over to Dylan Dubé. Back to Monahan. Broken up by Schmidt. Puck in the corner. Comes back to Dubé, but a penalty coming up. It looks like Pitlick is headed off as the Jets will go on the power play.
JackpotCity.net. Casino games perfectly made for you.
It's going to be Tyler Pitlick for interference on Adam Lowry, and you can see not even close to the puck, just shoulder to shoulder. And the official in the neutral zone makes the call, and it's the right one.
So the Jets power play gets a chance here. There's a stop. Wheeler on the rebound, stopped by Markstrom. 2 saves early in the power play, and the puck's cleared down the ice. Winnipeg's power play. Went 1 for 3 yesterday, which is 2 for 25 in the last 10. So they're looking to get things going. Get a couple of looks early on this first man advantage for them as Ehlers carries in. He'll try and get it set up. Passes across. Wheeler to the circle. Back to the line. One-timer. Markstrom got a piece of that as Pionk leaned into it. Might have been tipped on the way through. Back around for Wheeler. Still looking for his first goal of the season. In behind to Connor. Tips it over. Ehlers racing to it. Whips it around for Wheeler. Picks it up on the half boards. Pionk takes a look. Wheeler from the circle to the slot. Safely fired it wide. Bounced in front. Tanev taps it back, and Markstrom covers up.
You know, it's just hard to believe, Rick, that Mark Scheifele and Blake Wheeler, they just have 1 assist each on the power play, and that's a big reason why offensively they're struggling in their confidence. You can see with Wheeler, just the puck doesn't settle quite down nicely for him, and he kind of forces it. But then the next play, he puts a nice pass to Mark Scheifele. They get a chance in front. So some nice puck movement early here on the power play for Winnipeg.
Minute 13 left in the penalty to Pitlick. Scheifele steps out. Wheeler steps in for the draw against Brad Richardson. Jets have closed the gap in the shot count now. And look to cut this lead in half on this man advantage. Anderson puts the puck up the boards, chipped high in the air, and it winds up going over the glass, not a play.
You know, lots of time left in this hockey game for the Winnipeg Jets. You know, down 2-0 early, but you know, these are two teams that are really going in the opposite directions the last 5 games. I mean, the stats say it all. And I think the shocking thing for me about this board, Rick, is the 5 goals for in the last 5 games for the Winnipeg Jets. You know, with all the firepower that they have. But you look at their top 6 forwards, with the exception of Dubois, all of them, their shooting percentages are well below their average. So you know at some point, something's got to give.
Well, Paul Maurice talking yesterday, that 7-1 loss in Minnesota, that's a game that's reflective of the team struggling to score. Then you start to cheat trying to get offense, and you give up goals the other way. And that's exactly what's happening against Minnesota. All 7 Minnesota goals were 5-on-5 in that game. Got power play back to work here. Dubois banks it back to the line to Schmidt. Pass to Flux, bounces high. Loose at the line, kept in momentarily. Now it's fired all the way down by Noah Hanifin. 38 seconds left in the Calgary penalty. Just past the 11-minute mark here in the first period. As Schmidt fires a pass out to Kopp. He'll play it in softly. To Branson, pressured. Dubois gets it loose. Stasty's pass off the mark. Morrissey can't keep it onside. And the Flames bring it out. Mangiapane out on the PK will get to it and put the puck in deep. Josh Morrissey feeds it ahead to Kopp. Whips the puck in around the boards. The penalty winds down. Shillington's pass to Flux. Harkins puts it back to Dubois. Banks a pass back to Morrissey as the penalty comes to an end. Pitlick's out of the box. Fed in front and checked. Dubois was, and a good play by Pitlick, who raced back into the zone. Now passes to Richardson. Drops it on. Here's Shillington. Richardson cuts in behind. Put it in front. Lewis couldn't get a clean shot away. Feeds it back to Shillington, off his stick. Now a race ensues. Shillington got there just ahead of Lowry, who falls. Shillington settles it down, shadowed by Harkins. Puts it up and over the wing. That bounces off a skate into the zone, and Hellebuyck comes out to play. Inside 8 minutes to go in the first period. Lowry breaks out. Worked in by Vesalainen, trying to get around Hanifin. Shot wide of the goal. Tkachuk feeds it across. Johnny Gaudreau will get over to it. Settle it down at his own blue line. Now Gaudreau skates through center. Into the zone. Feeds it across. Here's Tkachuk. Shoots in. That one off Stanley's leg. Second shot stopped by Hellebuyck. Bouncing puck side of the goal. Hellebuyck able to cover up and hang on. 7:16 to go. First period of play. Flames looking to add to a 2-0 lead on Hockey Night in Canada.
Matthew Tkachuk looking for his second goal of the hockey game already in this first period, and look how many opportunities. There's the first one. He gets a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance. No one hits them from the Winnipeg Jets, and that's something that Paul Maurice has talked about. They got to be more physical in front. I feel like a broken record saying it, but you can see the opportunities that Matthew Tkachuk got there on those opportunities.
And Matthew will be joining you and Scott Oak on After Hours, along with Blake Coleman after the game tonight. Looking forward to that. 7:16 to go here in the first period. Backlund out to face off against Pierre-Luc Dubois, who wins the draw, but the Flames get the puck. Mangiapane pressure in the corner, puts it in behind, goes out to Gila. Off the boards for Cotton, swats at it. Dubois follows up, brings it out with a pass across. Svechnikov able to tip it into the zone. Tanev back on it. The near side for Coleman. His pass on the mark as Mangiapane takes off, working in on Dylan. Mangiapane shoots still and got a stick in the waist. Threw that high and wide. And the loose puck's cleared all the way down. And that'll go for an icing call on Winnipeg. And now a message from the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup.
We want to see your game-changing good deeds to make hockey more inclusive. Visit ChevroletGoodDeedsCup.ca to find out more.
I'm looking forward to learning a lot more on After Hours about Blake Coleman, the new Calgary Flames signed in the off-season. Has his family here and had a choice between New Jersey, Dallas, and Calgary, and chose the Flames.
Native of Plato, Texas. He's asked about his Halloween costume. He went full Canadian with a black shirt and a Mountie hat.
Excellent. And his wife dressed up as a Coleman cooler.
There's Dubé to Branson. Shoots off the shoulder of Hellebuck. Steered it wide with that left arm. Brendan Dillon able to clear as he lifts the puck out. Zadorov settles it down. Both teams are changing. Zadorov takes his time as we approach the 14-minute mark in the opening period. Anderson. That's in off the stick of Wheeler, but it winds up going over the glass.
Connor Hellebuck, you know when your team's struggling to score, they haven't provided a ton of offense for him lately. You got to be perfect, and you can see he's just struggling a little bit here early. That one goes off the back of his glove. It deflects ever so slightly off his defenseman, so he has to fight it off. But as a goaltender, that's not an easy way to play when you know the team in front of you is struggling. You feel like you have to be perfect.
Asked Maurice this morning. You go back to Hellebuck, he didn't hesitate, absolutely.
Well, and it wasn't his fault, the 4 goals and the 14 shots in Minnesota. The first 2 bounced off at least 3 or 4 things before they got to him.
Here's Hanifin down the wing, takes a look, throws a shot on goal. Hellebuck made the save, and the rebound swept aside. Flames are back on it. Lindholm's pass deflected, but now it's Tkachuk in behind. Johnny Gaudreau waiting for it, takes the pass. He has 2 assists already in this game. That pass broken up by the Jets, and Scheifele takes it out at center ice. Late in the shift, he'll bank it in and head to the bench. Shillington goes back. Both teams change up front. As we approach the final 5 minutes of this opening period. Oliver Shillington off the glass and out. Lucic put it in, not deep. DeMello steals over to Ehlers. And now Lowry to Stastny. Lowry follows up. He works the puck deep. Shillington on Lowry. Such a big body, able to protect the puck and make a play to Ehlers. Over to Stanley with a shot, and he leans into that one, but whistled it wide. It goes off the boards and out of play. 4:47 left in the first. 2-0 Calgary on Hockey Night in Canada. Andrew Mangiapane was a delightful guest on After Hours 3 weeks ago tonight. Of course, we take no credit for his success, but we do point out he's been going at a goal-a-game pace since 15 now and 49 shots coming into this game, which is a shooting percentage of about 30, so 1 goal on every 3rd shot. Can Mangiapane continue at that rate? Probably not, but in the meantime, the Flames should be feeding him at every opportunity, should they not? Rick and Cassie. I would say that's a good strategy. 5 goals last 4 games for Andrew Mangiapane. It's funny, off the air, Scott was taking all the credit for his success this season, but on the air, Mr. Humble.
Well, how about the fact that he's in their basement? A picture of Scott Oak and Andrew Mangiapane with his first ever white Hockey Night in Canada towel. I couldn't believe Scott was in that picture.
Here's Stanley through center. Scott Oak is everywhere. He's like Forrest Gump. We're going to see a picture of him and Elvis at some point here.
He's the best, I'll tell you that. He's the best.
Loose puck at center, Stanley on it. Approaching the final 4 minutes of the first period. Scheifele on the forecheck, giving Tanev problems. Lays the puck to the near side. Connor trying to get there. Does. Steps around Lucic and puts it back to the corner. Picked off by Shillington. Given away. Wheeler with a shot. Stopped by Markstrom as that came through traffic. Here's Pionk. Over to Connor. Jets pressing. Connor turning. Works the puck along the boards to Wheeler. Throws a pass across. Tipped away by Richardson. Kept in by Pionk. Long shot. That goes off Richardson wide. Chopped at. Connor follows up from behind the net. Works the puck to the corner. Takes a look. Pass in front. That deflects. Still loose. Here's Connor. Scores! Connor finally rewarded for a good shift by that line in the Calgary zone. And the Flames lead cut in half on a late goal by Kyle Connor.
You know, after the Flames' second goal, Paul Maurice puts this line out, and rightfully so. They need to get this team going. They had a really good shift on that shift and a really good one on this shift. Great forecheck. Shillington gives the puck away, puts Tanev in a difficult position. The Jets regain coverage, and just watch how Connor gets lost in behind the defense of the Flames. He gives the puck out one side, and he just comes around the other side undetected, all alone, and you give him that opportunity, that much time and space, he's going to make you pay every time.
13th goal of the season for Connor. That's his 12th at even strength. That's second in the league, and he gets rewarded after a great shift, and the Jets are on the board. It's a 2-1 game late in the first period. Backlund waved, Coleman in to face off against Kopp. Pulls it back. Schmidt there. Svechnikov chips it in. Kopp gets around Coleman, trying to get in front with a pass. It's just out of the reach of Svechnikov. Here's Kopp, works the puck to the crease. Markstrom's seen enough, and he'll hang on.
You know, I've liked a few shifts by the Adam Lowry line after that 2-0 goal. Of course, the Scheifele line as well, and you know, they're just starting to get more physical, and that's what they need from this line with Dubois and Kopp. You know, two big bodies that can create some space for Svechnikov. So some good response here after going down 2-0 by the Jets.
Johnny Gaudreau's pass off a stick, clears the zone, but intercepted by Morrissey. Right back over the line to Svechnikov. Gaudreau steals back, trying to get away from Kopp. Works the puck out, chips it ahead. Here comes Lino on the wing to Tkachuk. Tkachuk with a shot. That goes off Morrissey well wide. Hanifin pinches. A spill in the corner, but got the puck in behind to Gaudreau. He's checked by Schmidt. Kopp gets the puck with a pass in front of his own goal to Svechnikov. Popped it up, kept in by Gaudreau. Right in front, good shot, stopped by Hellebuyck. Couldn't get a good shot away. Hellebuyck in good position to make the save. And now penalty coming up to Tkachuk. Got the stick up on Nate Schmidt. Delayed call. Zadorov touches the puck. Dubois took a whack from Zadorov. Tkachuk's going to the box, though, so a power play coming up for Winnipeg with 2:35 to go in the period.
So it was a turnover by the Winnipeg Jets that leads to this latest chance by the Calgary Flames. You can see Svechnikov just gives it up with Gaudreau on the back check. There's the first opportunity, and then the battle ensues in the corner where the penalty will take place. And Hellebuyck comes out to challenge Tkachuk, and here's the penalty here. You can see the stick will get high on Nate Schmidt right there. No question about that one as the officials look to see if he was cut, but it's only going to be 2 minutes.
Jets power play will try and set up. Flames steal the puck, go back, unable to one-head it past Pionk and down the ice. Steelers goes back to the puck out with Pionk. Wheeler, Scheifele, and Connor who has the Winnipeg goal. Pionk. Here's Connor. Gave it away at the line, and that's cleared by Trevor Lewis all the way down. Pionk with a bump back to Connor. Now Scheifele. Lost the puck to the line, kept in by Pionk. Just feeds it over to Ehlers. They get set up now on the power play. They're second of the period. Here's Wheeler, feeds it across. Ehlers lots of room with a shot. Pass saved by Markstrom. Rebound to Wheeler. Resets on the half boards, all the way across to Ehlers again. To the circle, put it in front, and that goes into the corner, back to Wheeler. He surveys, passes, and Scheifele in that bumper spot can't get the shot away. Now it's stopped by Markstrom. Good save off Scheifele. Terrific stop by Markstrom on the rebound shot by Scheifele as he snags that and hangs on.
Well, Wheeler changing things up here for the Winnipeg Jets. He was going cross ice to Ehlers. He went there a couple of times, and on this last chance, there's the great shot by Ehlers that Markstrom has to fight off. But this last chance, he fakes it to Ehlers and puts it right onto the stick of Mark Scheifele. And this is just after that where Scheifele is able to get that shot off on Markstrom. And again, a huge save, but you can see the opportunities coming on the power play for the Jets.
Copp wave, Dubois in to face off against Lindholm. Midway through this Winnipeg power play. Kick back to the line. Here's Schmidt, fakes, resets, passes. Dubois from the circle. Back to Nate Schmidt. Here's Morrissey. One-timer stopped by Markstrom. Looked behind, but it's caught up, and he's able to hang on for a faceoff.
That's one thing Josh Morrissey wanted to be better this year than he was last year, is this one-timer opportunity. Went back to an old style of stick, and you can see Markstrom almost overplays this. He gets a little too far to his left, but he's able to squeeze that blocker arm and makes the save on Morrissey.
Off the draw, Anderson with the puck, able to clear it all the way down. 45 seconds left in the penalty to Tkachuk. As we approach the final minute of play in the first period, Nate Schmidt will bring the puck out. In off the stick of Copp. He's up on the floor check with Dubois. Morrissey winds up with a puck. Pressure, makes a good play to Stastny. Now Copp's pass was deflected partially by Hanifin. He gets past Morrissey all the way down the ice.
You know, watching the Columbus game earlier this week between the Jets, on the first period, Ehlers had at least 4 or 5 shots, it seemed, on the power play. They deserved a bit of a better fate.
Set up late, the man advantage. Wheeler works the puck down the boards to the circle, takes a look, cuts in behind as the penalty winds down and comes to an end. Schmidt with a shot. Well wide, big bounce of puck. Mangiapane gets control. Tkachuk's out of the box. He'll join the rush. Here's Mangiapane into Tkachuk. Tkachuk pressured along the boards by Wheeler. Makes a pass towards Zadorov. That's off the mark, and he'll have to regroup out at center. Right back in, though. Puts one through, looking for Tkachuk out of his reach. Beyond gets the loose puck. As we're inside 15 seconds to go in the period, Ehlers carries in, cuts to the middle, still with the puck. Now he's checked by Tkachuk. Zadorov fires a long pass to Gaudreau, trying to get away. Johnny Gaudreau right in. Put wide, penalty coming up now. As the horn sounds, and that'll be a hooking call on the Jets on a chance in the dying seconds by Johnny Gaudreau. So the Flames will get a power play to start the second period.
Well, this pass not perfect to Johnny Gaudreau. It comes off his skate, but he gets it right up to his stick. And he's trying to go backhand. There you can see the little tug by DeMello on Johnny Gaudreau.
Number 5, minor penalty, 2 minutes, hooking.
I was curious to see if they were going to call a penalty shot.
Thought about it. Dillon winds up taking the penalty. He'll be in the box when we start period 2. Good start for the Flames and a goal by Winnipeg. Kyle Connor gets them on the board. It's a 1-goal game through 20 minutes of play in Calgary. David Amber and the Hockey Night in Canada panel next.
The Flames and their rapid starts, and you think back against the New York Islanders, Brad Richardson with the early goal. Against the Boston Bruins, Johnny Gaudreau with an early goal. Against the Chicago Blackhawks, Dylan Dubé with an early goal for the Flames. And then again here tonight, 4 games in a row, Matthew Tkachuk with an early goal. And so much easier to play when you get off to a good start. And Blake Wheeler, you know, talk about his start in this game. You know, I thought he had an excellent first period. This is a guy, obviously a lot of spotlight on him. He hasn't scored yet, but he was physical. He was in on the forecheck, grading turnovers, switching things up on the power plays. He ends up being on one of the flanks. He gets an assist on the Kyle Connor goal, and I think a net front presence, just battling, just trying to make something happen as the captain. I thought he had an excellent first period for the Winnipeg Jets.
Playing in his 997th career game. You saw Brendan Dillon in the box with that hooking penalty as the horn sounded to end the first. So the Flames start this period on their second power play. They're 1 for 1. Glad to have you with us on Hockey Night in Canada. Good first half of the first for the Flames. Good second half for the Jets. It's a 1-goal game, and period 2 is underway. As Gaudreau goes back to the puck and puts it to Anderson behind the net. Here's Lindholm carrying out. He'll work the puck to center, drop it off to Gaudreau. Now Tkachuk. Pressured by Copp. Puck comes free, bouncing around. Chip back to the boards. Copp's there with time. He's able to get it to the line and out. And Lowry picks it up and skates it into the PK. He'll put it towards the corner where it's taken by Anderson. And now Gaudreau breaks out with a pass across to Monahan. Back to Gaudreau, but a good stick by Connor to tip that away. Wheeler trying to catch up to it. Monahan got there first. That's a dangerous pass. It bounces in front off Anderson, and Markstrom had to be sharp to make the save. Almost an own goal there off the Flames defenseman. Jets have 2 short-handed goals this season. Flames have given up 1. And now Gaudreau carries in. Lost the puck just inside the zone, but regains control of the shot. Tipped on goal. Good save. Hellebuck. Kachuk's on the rebound. It was Monahan with that redirection. Pass across, broken up, and here goes Connor short-handed. Has Stastny wasn't going to the goal. There's the pass. Stopped by Markstrom. Stastny with a great look on the PK. And Markstrom able to make the save. Loose puck corralled by Hanifin. Half minute to go on the power play as he fires it around. Excellent penalty kill to start the second period for Winnipeg.
Really aggressive. Just, such a key moment. They know it too. They got some momentum back latter part of the first period to make it 2-1. Just such an important penalty kill here for the Jets.
Work to the line, comes across to Shillington. Let's try to set up late in the man advantage. Pass back to Mangiapane by Lucic, misses the mark, and that'll go all the way down. And that will do it as Dillon's ready to step out of the box. So Jets killing off, and we're back to 5-on-5. As Noah Hanifin skates the puck forward and finds Lucic down the way. He rumbles in, drops it off. Mangiapane with a shot. Rebound off Hellebuck, clear to the boards. Peters, pressure. Lowry comes over. Backlund steps in front of him and gets the puck free. Broken up by Nate Schmidt. Won't bank it ahead to Kopp. Feeds it over for Lowry. A little too far. Zadorov slows it down, and Coleman gets control. Morrissey kicks it away at his own line. Tanev regroups near his own blue line and flips it into Pitlick. Has Coleman in front. Pitlick, Coleman, stopped by Hellebuck. What a save with the right leg on Blake Coleman. Just a terrific stop by Hellebuck on that setup by Pitlick to Coleman, and somehow that stayed out. Here's Lewis with a shot off the side of the goal. Puck bounces free. Scheifele drops it off behind the net to Schmidt as we approach the 3-minute mark here in the second period. Branson back at his own line. Plays it ahead to Lewis. He'll fire it in. Hellebuck slows it down and makes a pass to Josh Morrissey. Long feed to Connor. As the Winnipeg goal in this game. Pressured at center ice by Hanifin, who gets it loose to Tkachuk. Here he comes. Trying to get past Morrissey. Knocks the puck off his stick. Tkachuk got it back and play it deep. Schmidt's there. Stolen by Gaudreau in front of Lindholm, but went in behind. He couldn't corral it. Hanifin got to it to keep it in. Now it bounces free to Lindholm. Gave it away to Connor. Feeds it across, and Wheeler pumps it over. Scheifele carries in. They'll slow it down with a pass that's picked off by Johnny Gaudreau. Banks it ahead to Rasmus Anderson. Tipped it into Tkachuk. Tkachuk turning in the corner, battling with Pionk. Scheifele back. Puts the puck high. Backlund over to it, but it goes to Pionk, and he'll settle it down and make the play to Brendan Dillon. Kept on side by Backlund. Tries a long shot that he whistled wide. Coleman on it. Put it out front. And that popped off the stick of Mangiapane. Bumped by Wheeler. Puck chopped wide of the goal. Flames race over to it. Coleman. Branson with a long shot. And Scheifele got a stick on that to tip it wide. And it comes free to Neil Pionk out to Common center. Fed back in by Coleman. Pionk to it ahead of Mangiapane. Brendan Dillon. With a pass all the way across. Scheifele dives, pokes it in. Zadorov back on it. Circles his own net and clears. Morgan Stanley fires it back in. Dubois racing after it. Took a bump, made a play to Kopp. Back to the line. Now Kopp again lets it go. Monahan pressure. Flipped over. Dubois gets the puck in the corner. Works it up the boards. Back to the line. Stanley shoots off a stick. Rebound. They score! Shoveled in by Stastny, and it's a 2-2 game.
Nikita Zadorov gets caught running around for the Calgary Flames. He's trying to make a hit on Svechnikov in the neutral zone, and then he comes back in his own zone. You can see him looking around. He can't find a man, and it's his man, Paul Stastny, that comes off the bench. He doesn't recognize it until it's too late, and there's a rebound there by Markstrom, and there you can see the finish by Stastny. And I think Markstrom was complaining initially that Stastny pushes his pad into the net, but I think this is a good goal.
Stastny gets his 5th, missed 8 games with a foot injury, came back yesterday and puts one behind Markstrom here early in the second to tie this game up in Calgary.
It was a remarkable stat on the stat line yesterday. You think in a 7-1 loss, he was the only forward that was even.
Ehlers on the attack. Winnipeg's got some jump down. All started with a great penalty kill to start this period. Puck comes over. DeMello racing to it. Tanev puts the puck up the boards. Tipped out. 2-on-1. Monahan with Dubin. And Shillington joins the rush. Shillington. Monahan in front. And it's blocked by DeMello, who got back to deny that opportunity. And the puck's fired all the way down for an icing call. With 5.5 minutes gone in the second period.
You know, you think about the Winnipeg Jets and their penalty kill. Not only did they kill that power play opportunity for the Flames, but they got some chances from it. And then they build on the offensive side of things. And there you can see Svechnikov in front creating a screen on Markstrom. He had to deal with that. And then just sneaky Paul Stastny comes off the bench, goes to an area where he knows he might get the puck, and he gets rewarded. And Markstrom, he believes his left pad was pushed into the net. But I think the puck was loose there, and that's obviously a good goal.
Matthew Tkachuk on it. Fires a pass to Gaudreau, back to Tkachuk. Tkachuk shoots, and that's off Stanley's stick. That long reach paid off there, got it in the way, and deflected the puck into the corner. Lowry settles it down, drops it off to DeMello. Stanley's pass, get off Anderson. Anderson gets the puck back from Hanifin, and makes a play up the wing to Tkachuk. Carries in with Gaudreau, plays it all the way around for Lindholm. Back in behind, puck winds up in the corner on Gaudreau's stick. Tkachuk now, battling down low with DeMello. Puck back to Anderson. Anderson with a long shot into traffic, and Hellebuck finds that. As Lindholm's knocked down, Hellebuck hangs on with 13:47 to go. Paul Stastny with the goal that ties this one up at 2 on Hockey Night in Canada. That 75% of teams in playoff spots on that date end up making it. The Flames are in good shape. Jets, meanwhile, were not even 2 weeks ago first in the Central, and after 5 straight losses, are in a wild card spot just above the cut line. There are always exceptions to the rule, most notable St. Louis in 2019, dead last halfway through the season, and they won the Stanley Cup, so it can change, but for confidence, it's better to be in than out at U.S. Thanksgiving. Rick. All right, Scott, thank you. You see the Oilers on top again after a 3-2 win over the Vegas Golden Knights today. A shot by Anderson that never got there, broken up by Nate Schmidt, carried out now by Tony Nato with a pass across the Vesalainen. Dumps the puck in, Markstrom stops that behind the net, up the glass and out. And Tkachuk's on it with a drop back pass to Gaudreau. Now Tkachuk feeds it over. Anderson trying to work his way through. Couldn't get the puck to the net. Tkachuk down low, back up the boards, and Anderson takes it again. Behind the net to Tkachuk. Goes in front. Morrissey on Tkachuk. Forces into the corner. Pass for Lindholm. Just off his reach. Harkins puts the puck back in the corner. Gaudreau. Back to Hanifin. Long shot wide. Anderson down the boards. Puck got away, and that'll roll out. Chasing after it is Vesalainen, but Hanifin got there first. And then following up is Harkins with the dump in at the end of his shift. Past the 7-minute mark in the second period. Anderson with the puck. Long pass finds Backlund, far side into Mangiapane. Coleman going to the goal. There's the pass, and it's deflected away by Stanley. Got a stick in there to break up that chance. Shifley finds Connor, wheeling in on Shillington. Turns. Kyle Connor will put it deep. Tanev back. Shifley on him. Puck played to Backlund. Gets away from Connor. Carries out Michael Backlund to center ice. In with Mangiapane, who takes the pass to Tanev. Shoots! And that's stopped by Hellebuck, who's able to hang on. Discover your next favorite CBC podcast like A Depth in Crypto Land or The Next Call on the CBC Listen app. Download it free today.
We saw Anderson and Tanev jump up in the play for the Flames, but watch this defensive play by Logan Stanley. Coleman gets underneath him, so he has to make sure he gets a stick on that pass across, and he does just that.
Got drilled in the back on a shot block early in the game, went right to the room, came back. I don't know if he missed a shift, Casson. He's made a couple good plays defensively here in the second.
He really has, and Coleman's been buzzing as well. He had a chance earlier in the period, and then that one there.
Richardson against Dubois in the face-off circle. Flames win it. Eric Goodbranson takes a look, shoots. Hellebuck glove save. Lewis right there, but Hellebuck hangs on, and we'll do it over again.
most points earned after trailing in a game this season. Look who's right up near the top. The Winnipeg Jets, 15 points just behind the Columbus Blue Jackets. And that's the thing. You know this team, they're in an offensive slump, but they're too good to be in it for this long. And so the Flames have to be careful here and respect their opponent.
Kyle Connor gets that goal with 3.5 to go in the first. Steers some momentum in Winnipeg's favor. They have an excellent penalty kill to start the second. Score right after that. And we're all tied up.
Save on Blake Coleman earlier in the period as well, where he had to come across.
Zadorov puts the puck in deep, broken up by Josh Morrissey. And now it's carried through center by Dubois. Trying to split the D's. Zadorov comes over. They go to the end boards. Pop battling with Branson. Svechnikov there as well. So is Richardson. They work for a loose puck. Pop feeds it all the way around for Nate Schmidt at the far point. Trying to shake Lucic. Schmidt passing to Dubois with some room. Dubois trying to shot. Deflected. Never got it away. Got the puck back. Fan of the pass. Now he gets it back to the line, but out of the reach of Morrissey, and that'll go all the way down. Calgary needs some fresh legs off the bench. Schmidt goes to it. Jets start a change as well. Here's Ehlers in. Swings wide, shoots, that's blocked. Dubé cleans up, gets back the other way with Monahan. Dylan Dubé on the wing to Monahan. Puts that puck off the stick and it winds up going over the glass. Just shy of the 9-minute mark.
You know, Pierre-Luc Dubois, one thing you notice about his game this year is his movement away from the puck. So he's battling Zadorov down low, he comes up to the top, tries to get lost. Richardson can't find him, he ends up getting the shot blocked. But the thing is, his work away from the puck, getting into open spaces, that's the big difference to me. And I think that's the reason why he's getting more offense this year.
Stastny carries out, plays it in. Ehlers racing after it. Tanev got there first. Ehlers bumps him. Tanev stays in the battle. Stastny comes over to help. Lowry's there as well. Monahan drops his stick. Puck comes back to DeMello with a shot blocked by Tanev. Quick pass finds Pitlick. Brings the puck out. Works the puck in over the line to Dubé. Dubé in front of Monahan. Can't pull the trigger. He was checked by Ehlers, who came back hard to take the puck away. Here's the zone. Loose at center. Back to the Calgary blue line. Now Pitlick down the wing. End of a shift, puts it deep. Dylan DeMello goes back to it. Midway through period 2. Wheeler's pass out the center, denied. Shifley checked. Puck comes back to DeMello. Broken up by the Flames. Just onside. Here's Gaudreau. Shoots, and that's off Stanley's stick. Wide of the goal. Hannafin chips the puck towards Gaudreau. In behind Tkachuk, trying to get in front. He put it wide of the wraparound. Just wide of the far post as he cut around from behind the net. DeMello's on it again. Makes a pass to Connor. Pressure. Gave it away. Pass back off the mark. Goes off Shifley's stick, and that'll go back into the Calgary zone. Hannafin's there. Servants. Fires a pass up the middle. Mangiapane. Backhands it in. Tony Nato goes to it. Looking behind his own goal and play a pass over to Pion. And now it's Tony Nato at center. On the wing to Harkins. Harkins back across. That was in behind Vesalainen. Flames trying to get the puck out. And Mangiapane racing after it. Pion got there first. Just would have been a 3-on-1 chance for Calgary. Puck stays in. Mangiapane again to the circle. Back to the line to Branson. Tries a long shot. Deflected it. How about that piece of that? Backman gets the rebound off the inboards. Works it out front to Coleman. Shot blocked. Puck loose. And it settles down on the stick of Pion. Carried out by Harkins. Cuts through center. Swings wide. Puts the puck in deep. Branson to it. Whips it around the boards. Back and lets it go. All the way out to Mangiapane. Feeds it back to Zadorov. And the big Russian whips the puck around. Mangiapane battling on the near side, but it's cleaned up by Svechnikov, who cuts out over the line. Feeds it over. Dubois. Svechnikov going to the goal. Just out of his reach. Dubois trying to get it there. Pop follows up. Here's Svechnikov in the corner. Shillington leans on him. Dubois put it in front. That'll clear the zone. Gets past Morrissey and out to center ice.
You know, Paul Maurice, you think back-to-back. He needed a couple of shifts from his fourth line. They didn't get a ton of ice time in the first period, but they've had some really good shifts here in the second.
Trevor Lewis puts the puck in deep. Blake's fourth line on. Schmidt gets it free. Dubois with a chance to feed it out, but put it across to an open side, and it stays onside. Grant Richardson in front for Lucic, broken up by Nate Schmidt. Good position there to block that pass and settle it down. He plays the puck to Andrew Copp. Dumps it in. Might be icing. Dubois hustles. No icing calls. He gets the puck first. Put it off the back of the net. Bounces right to Sean Monahan. And he'll bring the puck to the line and make a play through center. In comes Dylan Dubé. Kid from Cochran down the wing. Pressured by Stanley. Puck winds up in the corner. Pitlick's there. Back to Dubé. Puts the puck to the point to Anderson. Quickly across. Hanifin gets a shot away. That goes wide. Lowry on the loose puck. Anderson pitching down the boards, causing problems. Stastny trying to fish it out. Nearing the 13-minute mark here in the second. Pitlick can't keep him onside. Hanifin over to it. Plays the puck in. Hellebuck gives it to Logan Stanley. Up to Stastny. Tipped in by Scheifele. Orlov goes back. Scheifele flushes him up from behind the net. He makes a play to Lindholm. Now Tkachuk. Cross-ice pass. Good job by Gaudreau to pick it up off the boards. Pressured by Pion. And now Lindholm in behind the net. Looks in front. Nobody there. Gives the puck to Gaudreau. Trying to get it back to the line. That was denied as Wiener takes control. Here comes Connor. 3 Jets through center. Scheifele down the wing. Bumped off the puck by Gudbranson. Orlov takes a hit. Puck comes free and behind the net. Picked up by Connor. Morrissey had pinched to the front of the goal. Now a shot by Schmidt. Blocked in front by Zadorov. Makes a play to Tkachuk. He'll feed it out to Gaudreau a little too far. Morrissey able to bump it across to his partner Schmidt. Now it's batted in by Connor. On strike by whistle here as Connor goes back to it. Knocked off a stick by Gudbranson. Blake Coleman over to it. Svechnikov knocks him off the puck with a good play. Schmidt flips it high. Winds up down low. Gudbranson to it behind the net. Jets peel off. Svechnikov is the low man up on the forecheck. Flames get it up, but Schmidt right back on the attack again. Carries in, turns to the boards, back to the line, under pressure, and it's out to center ice. Flames get control. Fed into Backlund. Backlund turning. Mangiapane can't get a shot away. Copp, good play to knock him off the puck before he can let it go. And now Dubois heads up ice. Through center, he'll chip and chase, trying to get around Tanev. Tanev and Dubois both go down. Puck under the pile somewhere. Copp trying to fish it free. Backlund bumps him. Fed around to the other side to Pion. Bumps it back. Vesalainen just inside the zone. Down the boards, Pion pressured by Mangiapane. They both go down. Here's Copp with the puck to the line. Dylan Rister, and that's blocked in the slot off the leg of Tanev. Coleman makes a play. Backlund brings it out. Shillington joins the rush. Trying to shovel it over to Mangiapane. That was blocked. Loose puck just at the line. Chipped across. We've got over 6 minutes of play without a whistle here in the second period. Harkins cuts in with speed. Shoots. Blocker saved by Markstrom. Rebound off the boards and then up the near side. Vesalainen gets it free to Harkins. Lewis on him. Anderson. Check. Toninato in front. Great save by Markstrom as he robbed Vesalainen from the slot. And now Backlund carries out. He'll put the puck in. Lucic up on the forecheck. Goes ahead of the corner of DeMello. Knocks him to the ice. That'll draw a reaction. DeMello loading it up. Penalty coming up to Milan Lucic. And DeMello bleeding after he took that hit in the corner and went into the boards hard. Lucic going to the penalty box. And after a long stretch without a whistle, the one that finally comes is a penalty on Calgary. After a terrific save by Markstrom right here off Vesalainen. What a stop. And then Lucic with the hit on DeMello. Jets on the power play when we come back on Hockey Night. He's always a good quote. In post-game he said, there's no more of this. We're going to give it tomorrow. Jets have come back to tie it. We may be looking back at Hellebuck's point-blank save on Blake Coleman as a turning point in this game because it kept it at 2-1. And it set the stage for Paul Stastny's tying goal. Now the Jets go on a power play with a chance to take the lead in the game. Rick. All right, Scott, thank you. And the officials had a long chat with the Situation Room, and I'm guessing, Cassie, whether or not this would be a major, and it is, to Milan Lucic. Just put the 5 minutes up on the board. Let's get the call from referee Kevin Pollock.
And here you see the hit on DeMello, and you can see the numbers are there, and His head goes right into the top of the boards. The dasher there and gets cut by his visor. But there's no question that was a dangerous hit by Milan Lucic. And he's gone.
So it's a 5-minute major for boarding. And the Jets, who have fought back in this game from 2-0 down to tie it up, have a chance here on a 5-minute power play to take their first lead of the hockey game with 4.5 to go in the second. Wheeler, Scheifele, Connor, Pionk, Ehlers out. Scheifele facing off against Backlund. Winnipeg's 0 for 2, 5 shots on their 2 power plays. Scheifele gets the puck back to Pionk. Wheeler. Neil Pionk takes a look over to Ehlers. Ehlers feeds the puck down to Connor. Feeds it over. Quick shot stopped by Markstrom off Wheeler. And the rebound's picked up and cleared by Goodbranson.
Ricky, think of how important that early penalty kill was for the Winnipeg Jets to get back to this hockey game. That's the same for the Calgary Flames right here. Just a huge 5-minute span for them.
Flames fans not happy with that call on Lucic. To no one's surprise. But you're right, Cash. Big kill for Calgary. PK has killed off now 25 of the last 26 opportunities against. Jets work it in, and it's tipped away on a good play by Noah Hannafin. Ehlers fires the puck deep. Markstrom trying to cut it off. Back, but it's picked up by Wheeler. Plays it to the line to Pionk. Takes a look. Ehlers to the circle. Shoots! And that whistles high around the glass. Pass back to Pionk. Ehlers again. Another shot. Deflected. Stopped by Markstrom. A nice save on the redirection. And he freezes the puck for a face-off.
Well, Ehlers and Wheeler on the flank are doing a nice job of disguising when they're going to give it to Mark Scheifele. But it's Noah Hannafin here. Feels the pressure. Doesn't do enough with this puck. Turns it over, and the Winnipeg Jets are allowed to set it up. And there you can see Mark Scheifele just looking for that tip. Connor there as well for the rebound, and Markstrom makes sure that he smothers it.
Off the draw, puck to the line. Kept in, Schmidt. Dubois gets it back. With a circle for Kopp. Down low for Stastny. Dubois. They pass around a tight quarter. Stastny whips the puck around for Josh Morrissey. 1.5 gone on the 5-minute penalty, tipped up by Backlund. He'll chase. Schmidt trying to get back. Gets there ahead of Backlund, makes a play to Kopp, and he'll feed it across to Pierre-Luc Dubois. Cuts to the middle, it's center. Lost the handle for a moment, gets the puck back, and gave it away to Lewis at the blue line. And now onto it is Blake Coleman. He'll carry in by himself, and then kill some time, escape back. Stop on his own blue line. Puts the puck all the way down as the Flames change up front, the PK. 2 minutes gone on the 5-minute major. Shots so far on this power play for Winnipeg. Stastny backhands it in. Morrissey's up on the forecheck. Anderson trying to get to it. Finds a bit of room. Got it past Schmidt and down the ice.
The second unit for the Winnipeg Jets just unable to get anything set up. And of course they go for the change and the first unit comes back on. They had some quality chances early in this power play.
Maybe the best Scheifele's tip. He has the puck, stumbles. Gives it to Ehlers. Puts it around. Branson, pressure. Tana chops at it. And it got away from Scheifele, but he kept it onside. And took a big hit as he's knocked to the ice by Dylan Dubé, who gets the puck in front of his own goal and fires it right down the ice on Hellebuyck. Neil Pionk drops it off. 3 minutes gone in the 5-minute major. Connor in. Ehlers. Down the boards. Anderson intercepts. Puts it high. And down the ice.
Well, the Flames know how difficult it is to get the puck back from the Jets when they get set up on the power play. So you can see how aggressive they are in the neutral zone, at the defensive zone, blue line. Just doing anything they can, not allowing them to get set up.
Wheeler just inside the line. That's jabbed up by minute of play in the second period. Now the Flames short-handed on the attack. Lewis cooks in deep. Gets away from the check. Penalty coming up. Pionk lost his stick. Grabbed on to Lewis. The late call. 45 seconds to go in the period. Branson back. Makes a play to Mangiapane. Now Coleman over to Gudbranson. Flip the puck in. And the Jets finally touch it with 32.6 to go. Make the season yours with all your holiday favorites all December long on CBC and CBC Gem.
Well, Pionk loses his stick, and Trevor Lewis comes down on him, and he recognizes that he's lost his stick, so he keeps the puck, just continues to fight through. And there you can see the penalty, and how good has Trevor Lewis been since coming over to the Calgary Flames. You know, the Winnipeg Jets miss his leadership, his fourth-line presence. He's been everything Daryl Sutter has asked of him so far this season.
Spent last year with the Jets after 10 with the Kings, including time with Sutter in LA. So some 4-on-4 here, and that'll carry over to start the third period.
You know, if Pionk has his stick there, he just dumps that puck into the corner, but he recognizes that there's a chance there for him to potentially reach out, and that's exactly what happens, and gets the call.
Nice play by Anderson to knock down Morrissey. Get the puck loose to Johnny Gaudreau. Feeds it back to Lindholm. Final 10 seconds of the period. Lindholm in, trying to make a move, and it's knocked away by Nate Schmidt. Lindholm gets the puck back to Gaudreau. Time winding now. Gaudreau. Poke check by Pop on a good play, and the period will end with a long shot that comes after the horn. So 40 minutes in the books. Stastny gets the only goal of the second period and ties this up at 2. We'll start the third with some 4-on-4 and then an abbreviated Calgary power play. Got a good one going at Scotiabank Saddledome. The Flames and the Jets all even through 2 periods of play. David Amber and the Hockey Night in Canada panel coming up next. It was powered by AWS, the official cloud infrastructure provider of the NHL.
Well, you think, Rick, the last 5 games shots on net, I mean, not so bad for the Winnipeg Jets, 36.8 shots per game. You look at the high danger areas, but this is the fact. They only had the 2 goals you can see in the red area, but tonight it's been a different story. Better net front presence, better compete, and it starts with Kyle Connor. He loses himself in behind the net. Calgary Flames defensemen don't pick him up. He gets the Jets on the board for their first goal of the night. And then you see some traffic there by Svechnikov and Paul Stastny coming off the bench, but you can see a little bit more edge to their offensive game for the Winnipeg Jets tonight.
All right, tied at 2, score even, shots even. Good start for Calgary. Excellent pushback for Winnipeg. What do you expect in the third period, Cassie?
Well, I think a tightly checked third period. I mean, a big moment for both these teams, but for the Winnipeg Jets, they desperately need this win, so you'll probably see a little bit more desperation for them. But I expect a very physical period with a lot of edge. It's been a great hockey game so far.
So 32 seconds left in the Lucic Major, which is being served by Tkachuk. So we have some 4-on-4, and then the Flames will have about a minute power play on the other side, assuming no more penalties. Third period underway. Glad to have you with us. Hockey Night Canada here in Calgary as Coleman carries out. Works the puck over the line, slows it down. Long shot, pad save, rebound batted away by Nate Schmidt. Puck played back to Backlund. Tries a wrister deflected by Coleman in front, and Hellebuyck's able to make that stop. As the Jets are on the puck with a chance to work it out. Played across to Scheifele. Led all Jets, well, pardon me, he and Weeder both had 3 shots through 40 minutes of play. They'll lead the team. Tkachuk's out of the box. Flames now on the power play for the 3rd time. They're 1 for 2 in the game, but only 45 seconds to go in the Neil Pionk penalty as Lindholm will bring the puck out of his own zone. Over the line, trying to dodge a hit as Stanley stepped up and just missed. Puck goes in deep, knocked away. DeMello's lost his stick. Stanley's back into play and able to clear it off the boards and all the way down the ice.
You know, you wonder if Stanley was on the ice when his teammate took that hit from Milan Lucic. You wonder if he was looking for a little bit of redemption there.
Here's Johnny Gaudreau late in the power play with a pass across. Tkachuk feeds it back to Gaudreau. They get set up now. 10 seconds to go in the Winnipeg penalty as the puck's played all the way around to Monahan. Here's Tkachuk. Well, from the scoring in this game in the first minute of the first. Now Monahan down low with a shot, and Hellebuyck makes the save as the penalty comes to an end. Puck comes around to Tkachuk. Pionk's out of the box. Monahan battling Lowry. Puck up the the boards, knocked free to Monahan, tipped away from Gaudreau, kept on side by Shillington. That goes off Morrissey. Chuck wanted to get it in front quickly, but passed denied on a good play there by Brendan Dillon. Now the puck's out to center ice. Shillington on it for Calgary. Quickly ahead to Backlund. Trying to catch the Jets in a change. Backlund shoots it. Hellebuyck takes that up high, makes the save. And the rebound's cleared up by Dylan DeMello. A little too hard on fresh ice, and that'll be an icing call on Winnipeg.
A quick little transition from Shillington. He recognizes the Jets need a change. He just puts it quickly up to Michael Backlund, and this goes right off the mask of Connor Hellebuyck. You can see him just a little shake of his head there. The official comes right to him after just to double check and make sure he's okay.
Backlund in the face-off circle against Pierre-Luc Dubois. Flames win it. Zadorov puts it behind the net for Backlund. Dubois on him. Puck comes in front, swept aside by Morrissey and cleared out by Puck. Nikita Zadorov will bring the puck out of his own end and bank it ahead for Coleman. Missed the puck. They wave off icing though. He's going back to it as Pion. Now Dubois with a feed ahead to Svechnikov. He's bumped by Zadorov. Puck goes in deep. Fed in behind the net. Dubois takes a look. Gets it back to Pion. Waiting at the point. Dillon, wrister, deflected on goal. Markstrom paddled out, makes the save, and he covers up for a face-off. Well, follow the remarkable journey of the Toronto Raptors' biggest and most popular fan, super fan, the Nav Bacha story. Next Friday, 9 o'clock on CBC and CBC Gem.
From the back end, the Jets just try to funnel this puck to the net, and you can see the Jets fighting to get across, get a stick on it. Stastny, though, gets pushed to the outside and doesn't create enough of a screen.
Pion bats that down at center, fires a pass across Connor. He'll play it back into his own zone for Brendan Dillon. Over to Pion with a feed out on the far wing to Scheifele. Now Connor in. Works it across, plays it back. Pion shoots, glove save. Markstrom, no traffic, grabs that, hangs on. Listen to the 100th episode of the Players Own Voice podcast featuring Becky Scott, dropping Tuesday. You can find it on CBC Listen or wherever you get your podcasts.
Markstrom just trying to slow this game down. Just an easy save for him. Recognizes his teammates need a change. Just a smart play there.
Monahan wins the face-off against Scheifele. Anderson winds up with the puck. Shadowed by Connor. Bouncing around out there. Now it's finally chipped out by Dylan Dubé. Brendan Dillon on it. Dylan Dubé bats it in. Delayed offside. Flames tag up, but Dillon controls for Winnipeg. Over to Pion. Pressure. Turns back away from Pitlick. Brendan Dillon ahead to Blake Wheeler. Through the middle to Scheifele. Bats it in. Would have been offside, so the Jets back off. They'll start a change as Hanifin brings the puck out of his own end. Gains the red line, plays it deep. Pitlick on the forecheck. Logan Stanley back to it. And now Lowry banks it ahead. Cut off by Richardson, but it goes right back to Lowry, and away he goes. Feeds the puck into Ehlers. Ehlers shoots, stop, rebound, and Shillington's on it. And now Mangiapane carries out. It's time with Tkachuk for those shots coming into the third. Drops it off to Anderson. They each have 3, by the way. Richardson puts it in behind the net. In the corner, and it's DeMello there with a pass to center ice to Ehlers. Carried in by Stastny. Back to Ehlers for the one-timer, and a glove save by Markstrom. Lowry flashing by in front. Markstrom's able to snag that and hang on.
You know, Ehlers had 2 shots after 2 periods, but one thing that's so sneaky about him is that you can't tell as a goaltender if he's going to shoot it or pass it. I mean, he just has that release about him. He's looking away as well, which can alter a goaltender's vision and where he's looking. And this shot, a little tougher than it looks just because Adam Lowry was there. But that's the thing about Nikolai Ehlers. You really can't tell if he's going to shoot or pass. His release is just excellent.
121 goals the last 5 seasons, 6 this year. Gudbranson gets the puck off the draw, and now Backlund skates out. 3 Flames into the zone. It's Zadorov on the rush. Cuts in deep with a shot. And Hellebuyck with the paddle down, able to make the save and cover the rebound.
You know, you think earlier in the game, the 2 goals that the Flames scored, and Connor Hellebuyck looked a little bit shaky, but he's really settled in. And you know he sent a message in the media after the game in Minnesota. You know he had to come up big. He did in the second period, and he's been steady here in the third.
9th start, last 10 for him. He goes back-to-back, even though he was pulled out of the game in Minnesota yesterday. And you're right, he settled in nicely in this game.
9 games, and his teammates have only provided him 2 goals or less. I mean, that's just extra tough on a goaltender. It's a lot of pressure. You feel like you have to be perfect, and it's impossible.
Good. Branson puts the puck off the boards and up. Mangiapane feeds it ahead to back, and he carries into Coleman. Backlund shooting, blockered away by Hellebuyck, and he bunts the puck ahead right to Dubois, who takes off. Hanifin rides into the boards. Dubois trying to work it off the wall, gets it back to Smith, feeds it over, right in. Morrissey stopped by Markstrom. Great look for Josh Morrissey. Now the Flames have a chance to break out. Here's Coleman carrying through center. Puts it on the wing, but put himself offside in the process. Just past the 5-minute mark in the third period of a tie hockey game.
Josh Morrissey with 3 goals from the back end. He jumps up into the play, and he's wide open, gets a good opportunity here, but then he gets on his horse for the back check, and he really creates this offside for the Calgary Flames. He forces Blake Coleman to make the pass earlier than he would like to, and that's just good presence by number 44.
Wheeler steps in to face off against Lindholm. Bouncing puck at center ice. On it's Connor. Connor able to get the puck down low. Hanifin there with a pass to Gaudreau. Picks it up, brings it out under pressure, turns, backhand pass. Lindholm hassled by Connor. Gaudreau follows up, skates the puck in. Puts it to the corner. Scheifele on it for Winnipeg. Shakes Tkachuk, makes a play to Pion. He clears. Settled down by Noah Hanifin. Boston native had a goal against his hometown team a few games ago. Always enjoys playing in Beantown against the Bruins.
You know, that pairing the last 3 games, a goal and 7 assists. So they're starting to provide some offense, Hanifin and Anderson, for the Flames, which is expected.
Shillington makes a play in front, finds Monahan. He'll skate it out. Gains center and plays it deep. Hellebuyck. Trying to slow it down. Stanley gets the puck in the corner. Fires a pass across to Mello. His pass tipped away by Dubé. Cleared out by Markstrom. On it's Monahan. Plays the puck in. Pitlick able to hang that leg and stay onside. Stanley back to it. Vesalainen along the boards. Pressured by Monahan. Puck comes back to DeMello. Will bank it around as he gets knocked down by Dubé. DeMello no worse for the wear after that heavy hit by Lucic that sent Lucic out of the game with a major for boarding. Flames were able to kill that off. Got some help too on a Winnipeg penalty that nullified the final minute and a half of that 5-minute power play. 7 minutes gone here in the third. Just shy of that. And it's still tied at 2. Things tightening up a little bit in this final period of regulation as Eater wants the puck off the boards, takes a bump. Coleman lost his stick, trying to kick it out. Backlund comes over to help, and now Mangiapane takes off with Backlund. Backlund going to the goal. Mangiapane shoots, stopped by Hellebuyck, fights that off and hangs on. And then Mangiapane draws a crowd. Nate Schmidt comes in and wrestles him down. The 288s come together. They're separated now. And a tie game in the third period. Nobody wants to take a silly penalty here. So things cool off with 12:47 to go. Andrew Mangiapane looking for his 16th. Hellebuyck has the answer in a 2-2 game on Hockey Night in Canada.
At the Saddledome tonight, fresh off his induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame, but he's in Calgary currently as coach of his son's Rink Hockey Academy under-15 team playing in the Edge tournament. Son Joe's on that team again, also as assistant coach for the Academy's under-18 team for whom son Tej plays. This all leads to the question, is NHL coaching in the long-range plans for Iginla? He says he doesn't have that desire yet. Doesn't sound like an outright denial, and that's how wild speculation starts. Happy to have done my part in a 2-2 game. Right?
All right, good work, Scott. Stir the pot. How great was it, by the way? The Flames played Toronto in the Hall of Fame game on the Friday before the induction ceremony on Monday at the Hockey Hall of Fame. That was just terrific.
That was awesome. I got to be at the induction ceremony, of course, to see Jerome go in and my former teammate Kim St. Pierre. And I did a hockey school for years with Jerome McGinley. We gave all the money to charity, but he was there not just for an hour every day. He was there the whole day. And just a remarkable human being.
Chuck trying to get around Dubois, knocked the puck free, played down low. Lindholm took a pump from Pionk, jars it loose. Svechnikov trying to get out. Good play, Gaudreau to keep the puck onside. Johnny Gaudreau cuts in deep, in behind the net, played it off the back of the goal. He'll pick it up in the corner. A feed a pass to Tanev. Shillington just kept it onside. That was close. Gaudreau pressure, gets away from Dubois. Takes a look, trying to get a puck in short side, and Hellebuyck hugs the post, makes the save. Gaudreau knocked down. Dillon took him down. Penalty coming up. Pass in front, tipped away, racing into the place. Monahan. Now it's fed across. Shillington had to hop off the stick. Extra attacker out for Calgary. Passed across. Lindholm shoots. Pad save. Jets on the rebound, and the Flames going on the power play.
Game-changing streaming on the go with Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network.
Well, what a shift by Johnny Gaudreau. He's played so well throughout the season so far. Just out-muscles Dubois, which isn't an easy thing to do. He keeps his balance, goes for that short side chance against Connor Hellebuyck, gets the puck back, keeps his feet moving, and Brendan Dillon just eventually has to haul him down. Those are two big boys he's up against, Dillon and Dubois, and he handled them both.
Draws the penalty after a good shift, as you mentioned, Cassie. Fourth power play for Calgary. They're 1 for 3 in this game. Dillon didn't go to the penalty box. He went to... Maybe he thought he wasn't hitting the bench, they wouldn't notice, but...
You know what, I think that's a little bit of a tactic there, just to get his penalty killer some time, get a little breather here, just calm things down.
Back facing off against Lowry. Scramble on the draw. Pretty good rugby scrum there. Puck still in feet. Bouncing around now in the corner. Mello blasted up the boards. Hannafin cuts it off. Makes a play to Backlund. Good pass across. Shillington shoots in. Nice play by Kopp to get his stick in the way. Puck's picked up and cleared by Dylan DeMello. Noah Hannafin winds up out of the zone with a play to Backlund. Dodges a check down the wing. Bounces back to Hannafin. Fed over. Shillington had to pick it up on the boards. Weeder did a good job to pick his pocket and clear to center ice. Backlund back on the attack. Flips it in deep for Coleman. Pushed down by Stanley with a good check in the corner. Up to the line, not out. Hannafin in front. Mangiapane stop. Rebound stop too. Hellebuyck down. Puck still loose. Mangiapane gets it back. Here's Hannafin with a shot. Down in traffic. Hellebuyck lost his stick, but able to recover as the Jets clear the zone. All sorts of chaos in front of the Winnipeg goaltender, and he calmly keeps the puck out. Chop back on the attack. Top unit out. Here's Gaudreau with a pass in front. Monahan stopped by Hellebuyck. What a save on that chance. He's dropped the stick again. Picks it back up. Kachuk feeds it back to the line. 40 seconds left in the power play. Gaudreau with a pass over. And Kachuk bans on the one-timer. Morrissey relieves the pressure and plays it down the ice.
It's not very often, Rick, you see on a power play and a penalty kill, everyone changed at the same time.
20 seconds left in the power play. Here's Anderson. With a pass to Gaudreau. Back to Rasmus Anderson. Passing. Played in front. Monahan stick tied up. Puck back to Anderson. Final 10 seconds of the power play. Kachuk in front. Broken up by Nate Schmidt. Blocked that pass before it got through to Lindholm. Gaudreau trying to keep it in. Puck got away. Has to race back under pressure from Kopp. Gaudreau turns and puts the puck across. Tanev wisely let it go as they were changing. Might have been too many men, but penalty comes to an end. 4 shots on that power play. Some grade A chances. Hellebuyck stopped them all. We're still tied at 2. 9.5 to go in the third. Pitlick in front of the pass. That goes off Lewis wide of the goal. Fed back to Shillington. He shoots, deflected in front, and a nice stop by Hellebuyck on the redirection by Lewis from point-blank range. Connor Hellebuyck has been terrific in the last couple of minutes. At 2 on Hockey Night in Canada.
Third period, but let's go back to earlier in the night. Connor Hellebuyck, who's been so good for the Winnipeg Jets. Here's some of his earlier work from the first period where at times he had to scramble. His defensemen weren't quite into the game. He made some huge saves. You think back third where he loses the stick just to continues to battle. And what a save there on Sean Monahan on the Flames power play. Could have put them up 3-2. He's made some big ones here this evening.
9:20 left. Tie game. Backlund facing off against Scheifele. Pionk over to Connor. Got a good one going here tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome. Scheifele on the boards. It's it deep. There's Hanifin. Feed it up the near side. Mangiapane brings it out. Chip and chase. Gillen back. Pionk's pass tipped. Jets recover. Scheifele's on it. Pressure. Clears to center. Hanifin's there quickly ahead of Mangiapane, but he was caught inside the blue line. Find your new favorite show on CBC Gem. From must-see series from Canada to international hits, CBC Gem lets you stream it all for free. Lindholm out there against Dubois. Here's Chris Tanev. Tipped in by Gaudreau. Schmidt goes back to it. Puts it off the glass and out. Bouncing at center. Tkachuk feeds it over to Tanev. He'll fire right back in again. 8.5 minutes to go in the third period. Schilling to try a shot. That goes off of Svechnikov. Felt that one off his foot out of play. And we get a whistle and a face-off in the Winnipeg zone.
You know, one thing is that it's been tilted towards the Winnipeg Jets zone in this third period. You know, from a Flames perspective, that the Jets played yesterday. They're playing 3 and 4. The fatigue is there, and you got to keep throwing things at the net, hoping to get those second and third chances that they were able to get earlier in the hockey game. And a key face-off here for Dubois.
And he wins it. Breaking through was Pitlick with a play back to Zadorov. Here's Dylan Dubé. Chase. On the far side, puck comes free of Pitlick. Trying to get it back to Zadorov. That pass blocked. Monahan fires it all the way around for Eric Branson. He'll tip it back to Pitlick at the line. Passing to Zadorov. Shot. That goes off Vesalainen wide of the goal. Puck winds up in the stick of Kopp. Puts it over the head of Branson all the way down. Good draw weight there, no icing. The ball on the forecheck, passing to Branson, who makes a play across with some help, and Zadorov able to clear an open wing at center ice. Pinballing around, winds up on the stick of DeMello. As both teams change, he'll blast the puck in and around. Lowry on the forecheck, whipped off the boards by Eaters wide of the goal, and that'll clear past DeMello all the way down the ice. Hellebuyck puts it off the board. Shillington reaching to cut it off as he's bumped by Lowry. Ehlers pass deflected right to Mangiapane. In front, tipped on goal and scooped up by Hellebuyck. On a turnover by the Jets, Flames get a chance, and again, Hellebuyck there with the answer as he hangs on for a whistle.
You know, I don't know how many times, Rick, we've seen Andrew Mangiapane get lost in the offensive zone and find himself wide open. This has to be at least the third time. As you can see how aggressive the Jets are, just a giveaway at the hash marks. But there's Mangiapane left all alone, time to make a play. And Backlund just can't get enough on this tip. A nice play there by DeMello. Just to get enough of him.
Approaching the 13-minute mark. Third period. Face off to the right of Hellebuyck. Lindholm line back on the ice. He'll face off against Scheifele. Scheifele wins it. Throws the puck back to Pionk. Plays it across to Connor. Pass deflected by Lindholm. Goes down the ice. Markstrom gives it to Anderson. Pressured by Connor. Played for Tkachuk. Scheifele steals the puck on the half boards. Puts it deep. Anderson. Knocked down. Lindholm comes over to help. Anderson again. Ahead to Tkachuk. He'll just clear. Johnny Gaudreau will race after and try and take off the icing call. He does. He beats Pionk down low and gets the puck. Here's Gaudreau looking in front for Hanifin. That was deflected. Shot by Tkachuk. Bouncing puck deflected high and wide. Then all the way around. Gaudreau let it go. Anderson had to back off, and that allows Connor to take on it all by himself. Hunter on Anderson, can't do it. Throw up there to help out, winds up with control. And makes a play over to Dylan Dubé. He carries in, swings wide, on his offside now, cuts him behind, in front. And that's taken away by Dubois. Shot by Lewis, goes wide of the goal. Now Branson whistles one wide. Around the board, Dubois hustles over, keeps the play alive in the offensive zone. Dubé puts it down low for Lewis. On hook from Monahan, and that's off the side of the goal. Dubois makes a short pass, and Svechnikov there to clear. Here's Kopp trying to get in. Knocked off his stick by Branson. And worked out through center by Monahan. Gains the red line and plays it deep. Inside 6 minutes to go in the third. 2-2 game. And a lively building here in Calgary. First of 3 meetings this season between these two teams. They'll see each other again on New Year's Eve right back here in Calgary. Backlund meantime drops it off. Mangiapane to the slot. Trying to get it back to Backlund. And Logan Stanley, Leonard's been good tonight. Takes it away and closes the zone. Well, it's 90s night here in Calgary, and the wave is rolling around the Scotiabank Center. Well, that seems appropriate. Meantime, Tanev in deep. In front, Tanev shot deflected wide. Played back to the line. Shillington shoots into traffic, and that missed the net. Mangiapane trying to get to it. Connor on him. Jets talked about their schedule, looking a little tired here, hanging on. As the Flames lean on the gas pedal, trying to regain the lead. But Winnipeg looking to do the same for the first time, and they might get a chance. Connor scores! Kyle Connor on the one-timer with his second of the game makes it 3-2 Winnipeg.
And I wonder if the Flames are going to look at this as a potential offside. From up here, it looks like it's onside. But you think of this, the big line put together with Scheifele, Wheeler, and Connor, and they have responded in a huge way. It was going all the Flames' way, and then they just go up ice. They create a 3-on-2, and just a perfect one-timer by Connor. Markstrom even reads it. But here's the entry here.
It's onside.
And that looks onside to me. And you can see Anderson puts his hand up just to let the officials know, maybe to check afterwards. But what a shot by Connor. And that wasn't a clean pass. It wasn't a flat pass, and he puts it right upstairs.
So Connor gets his second of the game, 14th of the year. And Winnipeg has its first lead of the hockey game with 4.5 to go. Good shot. Works the puck in deep. And you think that all the saves the Hellbucks made in this period, the shot clock has stopped working, so we don't know how many. There's been at least 10 since they last put a shot up there, but either way.
He's been excellent.
The only number that matters is 3-2. And that's the lead the Jets have, thanks to Kyle Connor on Hockey Night in Canada. Live tomorrow, 6 Eastern on the CBC Sports YouTube channel.
Well, Kyle Connor, 2 assists in the last 5 games coming into this one, and they needed him to step up in a big way. 92 shots led the team, and he gets the Jets on the board early, just sneaks in, unseen, and able to put this one past Markstrom in the first period, and then this beautiful one-timer. Doesn't get a clean pass, but finds a way to get a perfect shot.
13 of 14 goals for him this season, even strength 2 tonight. Jets ice the puck off the face-off, 4:22 to go in the third.
5 points combined for that Scheifele line with Connor and Wheeler, and Paul Maurice has been mixing his lines up as of late, trying to get things going, and he puts the 3 big boys together, if you will, and they've rewarded him so far this evening.
Backlund and Scheifele again in the face-off circle. Backlund tossed. Mangiapane will step in. And the Flames win it. Hanifin shoots, and that goes off of a control of Mangiapane. He'd fallen down to the face-off circle. Coleman cuts it off. Put it in front. Bounces free. Swatted out.
Ice.
Icing waved. Anderson back. Takes a pass across. Hanifin takes it out of his skates. And Coleman, he'll backhand it in. Hellebuck lays the puck to the corner. Now Scheifele with a chance to skate it out, which is what he does. Ship it in off the boards and turn to the bench as Zadorov goes back to it for Calgary. And makes Fakes a pass over to Gudbranson. Broken up at center ice by Dubois. Puck back to Nikita Zadorov. Slowly up his own end. And on the pass. And now it's taken away. And played ahead by Schmidt. Cut out by Zadorov. Miller can high into the zone. Morrissey to it. Toninato. Off the boards to the line. Not out. Zadorov keeps the play on side, but pressured along the boards by Dubois. As the puck's pinned along the wall near side. Toninato there as well. So is Pitlick trying to fish it out. Monahan gets it across. Here's Gudbranson. Throws it in front. That's saved by Hellebuyck. Dubé right there. He winds up with a puck. Gudbranson, one-timer. Whistle just wide. Banked in front. Winds up from behind. Flames put on the pressure. Puck winds up on the far side. Kopp able to lift it out and back inside the Calgary blue line. Inside 3 minutes to go in the third. Flames up 2-0 at one point. Jets have fought back and have taken their first lead of the game here in the third period. To put the brakes on this 5-game skid. Johnny Gaudreau. Knocked off the stick at the line by Lowry. Pionk off the boards, not out. Hanifin kept it offside only for a moment. Good play, Lowry to knock it away and back inside the Calgary line. Where Anderson has it, leaves it for Hanifin. Noah Hanifin. Trying to back with Fan. Scheifele takes control. Makes a pass to Wheeler. He'll carry in. Wheeler, Scheifele, knocked off the stick. On the boards for Morrissey. To Scheifele. Lindholm takes the puck. Finds Tanev. Forced to retreat by Wheeler. And now Hanifin. Lindholm. Back to Tanev. Jets clogging up the neutral zone as the Flames have to regroup.
And really smart changes by the Jets, too. They're not getting caught out with long shifts in their own zone.
Keep an eye on Markstrom. He stays out there. With 1.5 minutes to go in the third. Puck deep in the Winnipeg zone. Now Markstrom heads off for the extra attacker. As they battle away in the corner. Pop trying to work the puck loose. Makes a play to Dillon. Pressured in behind the net. Gets the puck to Lowry and he'll clear. And now the icing is Shillington gets back. Just enough. Whistle blows with 1:10 left. And Backlund and Dillon go at it way back in the Winnipeg zone. Not sure how that started. And Dillon throws a punch. And Dubois pulls Backlund out of the pack.
You know, Michael Backlund had given a shot to Neil Pionkin on the forecheck, and I think Brendan Dillon just didn't like it and responding. And I'm curious to see if the Flames call a timeout here. And there's the cross check to Dillon, but just prior to that, he also knocked down Pionk.
Face off to the left of Hellebuyck. Extra attacker out for Calgary. Empty net at the other end. And Lindholm facing off against Lowry. Lindholm's waved. Tkachuk steps in. Lowry wins it back to Dillon off the glass. Not out. Anderson, good job to keep it on side. Pressure at the line. Oh, now chance for the empty net for Kopp. Scores! And that should seal it. With 1 minute to go, Andrew Kopp into the empty net makes it 4-2 Winnipeg.
Well, Lindholm gets tossed in the draw, and it ends up being Matthew Tkachuk that has to go in and take the draw. He's unable to win it clean. Anderson just gets a lot of pressure from the Winnipeg Jets right at the blue line. They don't allow him to make a play. He's got Kopp there, Dubois. They just contain him in an area, and eventually it goes right to Kopp, and he makes no mistake. Head up, make sure he puts it right in the back of the net. And is that a big win or what for the Winnipeg Jets after a tough 5-game stretch?
They put 4 goals on the board. They only scored 5 during that entire 5-game losing skid. They get 4 in this one with that empty netter. Here's Monahan with a shot up high, and Hellebuyck, who has been just terrific here in the third. Markstrom's back between the pipes. There's a shot from the line that's stopped by Scheifele, and he'll get it to Wheeler, feeds it out. Here's Connor with 2 in this game. Racing after the puck. Connor Put it off the toe of Marchand, forced to make a pretty good save as Connor looks for his hat-trick goal. 30 seconds to go in this one. Monahan carries through center ice. Dubé, back and foot. It's knocked away. This will put the brakes on a 4-game Calgary win streak as well as a 7-game point streak. So Jets in their slide against a team that was rolling. Zadorov skates to center and blasts another shot in on Hellebuyck, who really played well, especially in the third period. And the 5-game skid is over for Winnipeg. 2 goals by Connor, a terrific performance by Hellebuyck, and a 4-2 win against the Flames in Calgary.
You know, Kelly Rudy was talking about in the intermission, Connor Hellebuyck, you know, after the last game, saying that, you know, he needed to be better, he wanted to be better. He understood why he was pulled. He was hoping maybe for a little push when Eric Comrie went in, but he was excellent. You know, I thought early it looked a little bit shaky, but settled in. He made some huge saves throughout this hockey game, especially on those chances that the Flames had where they had multiple chances, second and third chances in a row. He came up big. On that last power play for Calgary, Hellebuyck had to be a brick wall, and he was. Very good. And the Jets battled back after falling behind 2-0 to win this one 4-2. Don't forget, After Hours coming up. Cassie and Scott Oak, but next it is David Amber and the Hockey Night in Canada panel.